All right, guys, as I was wrapping up here for the day of the video you're about to watch, I realized that I didn't talk about what happened the other day with the inspector. So they came out on Friday. I signed up for a rough plumbing and rough electrical inspection. And just on cabin one. Cabin one is the cabin that I have most everything done with, at least when they came out for the inspection, and everything went fine. Everything went fine, except I have to adjust the door. The door is too small. Granted, the framing and everything, the last time he was here was up, and he didn't say anything about it. So it is a small, short door, but I need to have 78 inches, and I didn't know if it was going to be one of these things where, he could let me slide or not. But it's the primary egress door. I get it. It's got to be 78 inches. So we're going to have some modifications to do with that. And so, yeah, the rough, the plumbing and the electrical, everything went fine. Everything went fine to the point where yesterday and the day prior, I made runs down to pick up all my plumbing supplies, everything I needed to do to get the plumbing into cabin 3. So cabin 3 is plumbed. Everything looks great. The electrical is as far along as I can get it. I'm missing one board in a spot, but I just wanted to bring you guys up to date on what happened the other day with the inspector. Again, everything's fine. Slight modification, but we're certainly moving forward, and which is why on this video you're about to see, I moved on to start doing some stuff, thinking down the line a little bit, like the flooring, because that stuff's got to dry. So, all right, guys, here we go. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Got a little something different here for us today. And again, this is one of those things where I got to kind of think ahead a little bit. And I'm starting to think flooring for the cabins. Okay, I'm going to put in, I'm going to harvest my own lumber here and have oak floors in the cabin. So I need to start doing that so they have a decent chance to dry and kind of cure a little bit. I realize, they may only sit out maybe 4 months or so, 2 or 3 or 4 months, depending on how things go. So they won't be absolutely completely dried out, but I'm okay with that. I think if it does splinter or crack a little bit, put some checks in it, it might have that look that I'm looking for in the flooring and stuff. So I've got a good candidate here behind me. Which one? That one there. That one there. It's a pretty good size. It's a red oak. I walked around the property this morning trying to determine what I wanted to get. I want to stick with red oak for the floor. And I have several white oak on the property as well, but these red oak are some of the larger trees. So this one you see behind me here, that's actually about 88 inches in circumference. So it's a pretty good size, but they're all going to be kept at like 8-foot lengths. All my flooring is going to be 8 foot long, ideally about 8-inch wide planks. Okay, it's going to be like a wide plank flooring. So I got all my gear, just a side note, it was kind of crazy. I pulled off my, I got my large chainsaw with me here today. Pulled it off the wall from where I store it and everything, and I said, well, I need to just check the sharpness of the blade and everything. And I mean, I don't know what I was doing with it the last time I had it out, if I was digging a hole or, who knows, trying to cut concrete. But I mean to tell you, I was filing that blade, all those teeth down. It seemed to take forever, probably 10 swipes with a file on each tooth, which if you've sharpened chainsaw blades, it usually doesn't take anywhere near that, usually 2 or 3, and it gets back to a good chisel to it. So I mean, all sorts of rounded teeth, chips out of teeth. It was crazy. So it'll be interesting to see once I get it into the tree here how it performs. I'm sure it'll do great, but I don't know what happened. I didn't lend it to anybody, so it's obviously on me. So I'm not quite sure what happened, but the thing cuts so good anyway, I probably didn't even notice if it was getting dull. But I mean, it's a full chisel chain. I love it. So, all right, guys, let's get to work. As I'm sitting here looking at it here, this is the oak I'm going to be bringing down here, this one here. This tree is in the way. I want to bring the tree down in this direction. So this tree is in the way. We're going to bring this one down here. And then, actually, we're in the same location on the property where just over the hill there was the other oak that I pulled up. I think it was the first oak I did on the mill. And that was the first time I had used the log arch as well. And that was a blowdown. That oak tree was a blowdown, and the wood I got out of that was not great. So it was rotted and stuff. So you'll have to go back and dig through the videos to find that one, but it's out there. So I was up here yesterday with the my weed whacker with my metal blade on it. So I really cleared this area down. This is going to be actually a future building site here sometime in the next 5 years, I would say. We're going to have something sitting up here. So this tree's most likely going to come down anyway. So why not do it now and, you know, make some good use out of it. So first things first, got to get this out of the way. Bad in the sense that it went in the right directions. I had to do something a little sketchy. You definitely don't want to really do this, but after I made my face cut, my original face cut, let's see if I can get this to, my original face cut was here. Okay, so I needed it, it was going to be going this way, and I needed to go that way a little bit. So I came around after I actually started my back cut and kind of cleared this. That's about 1.5 inches or so, and kind of straightened it out in the direction I wanted to. So about 1/2 inch of holding one here at the end and 2 inches or so over here at this end. So not great, but it went in the right direction here. So happy with that. It's a decent size. You know, that's a decent size trees. I'll definitely be able to get some lumber out of that. It's definitely pretty straight. And definitely fell in a nice clearing here where I can easily, you know, get to all this material. So the top snapped off. That's great. And yeah, well, let's get after the big boy now. That made a ruckus. Guys, let's take a look at this and see how we did. My back cut was definitely too low. I should have been up another 2 inches. You see, I barely had any holding wood, just some here on this side, and then just a little tiny fraction there, but I wasn't, I don't know. Bottom line, it fell where it needed to fall, which is great. This large open area here, so definitely be able to, the ease of getting to this is paramount, because this is going to be heavy as hell. So across here is 28, 29 inches or so across, and that is actually going to push my mill to the limit. I can take a 30-inch log on there, and that is usually, when you talk about the limits of those things, I mean, they are pretty precise. So 29, we'll see. I still got to make a fresh cut, clean cut across here, so it may reduce it another little bit, but that's definitely going to be a challenge to get it up there. But nice straight red oak log here, and not quite sure how many sections I'll get out of this. I haven't thrown a tape measure on it yet, but even this branch here Hopefully there's no rot up in there because of the crotch that's right here. But I'll still be able to mill some of that as well. And then continuing along up through here, depending on how it gets. So one of the things about these oak logs here at these crotches, so I was over here just taking a look. I wanted to break off some of this here. So where these crotches are, it allows rain into the log itself. And you can see here, this branch was basically rotting out in the middle. So this branch is, I mean, I'm not saying it's useless. I'll probably break it up and use it for some outdoor firewood, but so this branch here was relatively useless as far as milling goes. Like I said, we might be able to get something else out of it. And then this one up here, which was just a little bit higher, I'm not sure if you can see that because of the sun and how awesome my camera is here, but that doesn't look like it's rotted at all. So that will most likely be firewood. It's too bent, it's too curved. I won't be able to get a straight cut on the mill. Then a lot of these smaller branches up here will be firewood as well. So we'll go ahead and get that all out of there. But it made a nice, beautiful, open, sunny area here. Not only will this be good for building in the future, but hopefully help the forest floor kind of regenerate itself and other things can grow up and get big and strong and we can cut them down and build more stuff. All right, guys, let me get to work. So when my bar got caught on that first one, I could tell you why I did that. I was down at the bottom trying to make a relief cut so it wouldn't, because that bottom, the very bottom, had to fall like 2 feet. I didn't want it to split the wood coming all the way up this next section. So I tried to make a relief cut and eliminate some of that stress, and it worked, but it also pinched my bar, so I had to get that out. That was, no problem. But up here, this last cut I made, you could see at this crotch here, this log here is still off the ground, whereas this one's laying on the ground, and it's actually still cracking as I'm standing here. So there's definitely tension in there. That's a lot of weight coming down on that end here. But this is what I was trying to avoid on my first 4 cuts here, and this was, splitting going up the tree. But because this is here at the crotch, really no big deal. I'm going to make a cut here. I'm basically going to cut the crotch out here and up there, and then we'll end up splitting this up for firewood. But this, as far as milling it, would be no good. So I got 4 good pieces out of that. The wood looks really good. There may be some imperfections inside it. We'll know more once we really kind of get into them a little bit. Boy, the sun is just terrible on this camera. But there's some issues going on inside. We'll see. We'll get into it. We'll get it on the mill and we'll see. Before we get that oak that's back there, I need to do something with this pine here. So I'm gonna, again, probably lop this off into 8-foot sections and get this up to the mill. All right, guys, I think I have just about everything bucked up here. I've got 4 really nice looking sections of that oak. I'm gonna have 3. These are all 8 feet over here, a little over 8.6, something like that. And then this pine that was here, I'm gonna make some 2x4s out of it. So I want them to be longer. These are 12 foot, 12.6. And I'm gonna have 3 sections of that. This isn't a very large log at all, so I'm not quite sure what we'll get out of it here, but something will happen. And then I've actually got 2 more sections up here, one right here, and then the other part of that branch that's over there. I got an 8.6 section out of each of those, so I think I'm definitely off to a good start. We'll see how things progress. So we're going to grab the log arch, going to grab the winch on the 4-wheeler, and we're going to start moving these timbers back to the mill. Gang, a little bit of an update here. I got those 2 pine sections that were here, those 12-footers. I got them back to the mill without any issues here. But this oak is going to be a different story. It is unbelievably heavy. I was certainly expecting it to be heavy, but man, oh man. So I think I'm going to have to drag it. So my idea is going to use the log arch here just to lift the front of it and then literally just pull it and drag it like that. It's a 3,200 pound winch. I don't know how heavy that is. That may be close to 3,000 pounds. It is heavy. I got my large cant hook there. I was able to roll it, a few times. That really wasn't an issue, but certainly I've never dealt with anything this heavy for sure. I have dealt with some large pine logs, but I don't think they were this heavy. So yeah, I'm gonna try and lift that up with the winch there, and then really just kind of get it so when I drag it, the front here doesn't dig into the ground. I only want it off the ground 5 or 6 inches, something like that. And yeah, we're gonna give it a go. Well guys, we got it up on the winch and it cranked up there. It really wasn't too difficult to get it off the ground like that, but for this to carry that whole weight, I'm skeptical. So I'm gonna try and drag it. Confidence level on this working is 30%. I think there's going to be too much friction here at the rear, and it's going to pull it off the chain. But we're going to load it up and see what happens. So as I'm sitting here looking at this, my confidence level is dropping even further, because I immediately upon leaving, I've got to pull it that way and it's got to swing. Yeah, I'm not feeling it, but we'll give it a go. So what's happening here, let me show you I think it's gonna pull it, but I'm pinched right now. So what's happening is as the log arch pivots, this back wheel now is pinched against the log. It's not allowing it to turn. So that obstacle has to be overcome, but the chain is really not slipping. I'm kind of excited about that, but I'm at too much of an angle to pull it. So I think I'm gonna actually take my cant hook on the back and try and roll it that way. I don't know if it'll slip in the chain. We'll see. Well, that definitely improved my situation. Let's give it a try. All right, this is not working. Let's think on this. As idea number 52. So here is the original length, or the original placement of the chain. It was very up close to the tip of the log here. So grabbed another set of chains. It's now lifted up a little further back, so I've got more of the weight up on the wheels, less back here to drag. I don't know if that's going to improve my situation. It just really transferred the weight a little bit. Hopefully that will make a difference. Let's see. I like it. All right, guys, just transferring that weight there. That absolutely made a difference. It really didn't even spin the wheels too much. So I think that's going to be how I'm going to get it over to the mill. So let's get it over there. This will be interesting. Normally I back them in. Guess I'm going to have to end up going down the hill a little bit here. Yeah, I'll film this for you here and we'll see how we do. Well, guys, my phone overheated and shut off, so you didn't catch me coming in, but here's my drag mark. Brought it in, dropped it off like right in here, and then just kind of had to roll it over to get near here. So you can see really the difference in size between these couple. Of course, these pine logs, I had no problem getting it up here, and this was definitely the hardest one I've ever moved. And the shame of it is that's not the bottom, that's not the largest piece. It's pretty close, but you know, the base, obviously the closer to the base you get, the heavier that sucker is going to be. So yeah, well, I'm going to work on that for the rest of the afternoon here. We'll see how things go, but it was definitely interesting. All right, gang, spent most of the afternoon here working with these logs, and I mean to tell you, heavy does not begin to explain how difficult this was. It was a massive effort. So I've got 5 of the oak logs here. That second one there, that is the base. That one actually was one of the easier ones. I actually started to kind of more center the lifting area when I would lift it up with the winch, and that seemed to work out a whole lot better. So a couple pine logs here, we'll get them going, but we'll see. I'm not, I don't know. I don't know what's, you know, I've got some imperfections here within these logs. It looks like there were cracks. Don't get me wrong. These are still going to give me a lot of great lumber. Like this one here. I don't know. We're going to have to get into that and see, just kind of see how it goes. Then this one here, this is actually one of the branches off of that. This here, just on this side of it, was where one of the crotches were. So to see it kind of mangled up inside there and kind of rotted does not surprise me at all. But this is, yeah, this is a 4th one. This was the highest one before a crotch. So we'll see. We'll see how these turn out. Like I said, I know I'm going to get some stuff out of it. I guarantee that. They're too big not to. So let me show you some of the damage. We certainly did damage some stuff today. If you steely-eyed viewers will realize that this here is not, I didn't have a colored winch on here before. I used to have one that looked just like this. In fact, this is it. And there's the broken wire. So what had happened, I hit a stump with the wheel. The weight of the log kind of shifted kind of the axle area of it, and as I was coming, I was on a slope of a hill, so it was just kind of pushing this down the hill. Ended up hitting a stump with the tire, and that created such a jolt and such a force that the wire snapped. So yeah, not much we could do there, but good news is the other winch I have that I winch logs up onto the log rack is the same exact winch. So I just swapped it out, kind of a field swap, and everything worked out fine. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this old one here. I mean, everything is still mechanically good. I just need new wire. So I'll see what I can do with that. So, but I said damage. I mean, that's it. That's all that really happened. Log arch worked great. This thing is fantastic. If I didn't have it, I don't know how I would move logs like this. Guys, that's going to wrap it up for the day. Those logs absolutely wore me out. I am tired. I'm beat. It's after 5 o'clock now, about 5:15 or so. So we're going to get the mill up and going tomorrow, and we'll see what we can't come up with. So, but primary objective is flooring. So I think I'm going to mill these, like I said, 6 to 8 inch wide boards. They'll be 8 feet long once I, clean them up a little bit, and probably an inch thick. I'll run them through the planer a couple times, get them down to 3/4, maybe 7/8, something like that. And then, yeah, I'm going to put an edge, like a tongue and groove on the edge, and that'll help kind of close up the gaps a little bit. So, all right, guys, man, I am beat. Hope your Labor Day was as good as mine. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one.